Welcome to part 47 of the Kicho Wong Dong series. In this episode, we're looking at a technique known as Idan Dui Tollyo Chagi, also known as the 360 back kick. Now, in order to do this technique, you will need the tutorial on the back kick and on the pop jump back kick. So please make sure you do this technique. This technique in our system is taught sort of green, brown belt, depending on the student, and then you're required to do it as a breaking at red belt. So it takes a little while to get there. So to warm up, obviously, I would do a couple of back kicks, and then I would practice a couple of outside to inside kicks. Why outside to inside? It's because you're going to jump forward. So when warming up, just practice doing these two kicks just to warm up, and then maybe a couple of jump kicks just to get into the right frame of mind for height and lifting your knees. The technique itself works in various ways. Most 360 kicks that we've done up until this point, like the 360 out to in, the 360 roundhouse, have spun backwards. This will be, if you're following my tutorials, the first one where you are spinning forwards. So the idea is to do an outside to inside kick and then followed by a spinning back kick. And all you're going to do really is speed up that motion and eventually take out the flicking part of the outside to inside kick. So to start with, just step forward, turning your heel so the heel is facing the target and the toes away, and then perform the back kick. And just step and kick, step and kick. This is very basic. Anyone can do this who already knows the back kick. The next stage is then to hop onto that leg. So instead of stepping, you're hopping onto the leg, and as you hop onto that leg, you kick. This is pretty much the mechanics of the entire kick. The only difference is then how high and fast you lift that knee. So in reality, we want to kick with our back kick before our non-kicking leg touches the floor. This will take time. So make sure, just like the rules of a back kick, that your hips not over-rotated, that you're looking over your shoulder, toes are down, knee down, all those various things. And when you get the momentum going, you will jump forward and kick. Now it's very important to have a target, so look forward at something if you're doing line work, have a shield or a focus pad to kick something, and then aim on that. So make sure that the hips are in always and that you kick straight back and don't kick too late. And with all spinning and jumping kicks, it's all about how fast and fluid you do it. You can't do this sort of slowly and at half speed, otherwise it won't work. So getting on to some common mistakes now. The main one is people not lifting up this knee high enough. The reason being, I've found over the years, is because they concentrate on the kick and not the jump itself. And if you think about it, you already at this point should know how to do a back kick. So the back kick should be in your wheelhouse by now. Concentrate on getting the knee up high and spinning as fast as it can around. It will then turn you, and as soon as you're at your halfway point to kick out, don't have the knee pointing to the floor, because that will give you less time in the air and make the back kick harder. The next common mistake is people not looking over their shoulder. So what they'll do is they'll jump, they'll kick, and they'll look at the floor the other way. This will make the kick very dangerous because you can't see what you're kicking, and it will also make your angle not correct. You may get the kick on target by luck, but you're not looking at what you're kicking, and you should always be doing that. So make sure, just a glance, not your whole head, because then your hips will over it, but make sure you are looking at your target, not looking at the floor. The third and final one is that over-rotating. You spin so fast and your hips turn, keep turning, and you kick too late. So then it is a side kick, or like I said earlier, a weird hook kick. So make sure that as you get to that halfway stage, you're doing it. A good tip that I use is to hold on to my shoulder of my kicking leg, and that helps me not to over-rotate and kick the target. So once you feel you have the technique down, it's very important to test it. And the first one will be accuracy. Now, you can start off kicking a very large shield that's very hard to miss. And then you get into a smaller target, like a shield or a wave rider. And you get into a small target like a pad. And then a game I like to do with my seniors is the 360 back kick and hit the flag on the side. Now, obviously, you're not going to kick this as hard as you can, but it will make sure that you are very accurate. And you just tap it. And again, you can go through that same process of stepping and kicking, hopping and kicking, jumping and kicking. And again, it might take a little bit of time, but once you've got that accuracy, you're good to go. Which leads me on to test number 2, which is obviously then the power. How do you know you're putting power into it? So in other tutorials that I've done, we've knocked over a wave rider. We're going to do that same thing with a 360 back kick. Start off with something light, if you have it, and then move on to heavier and heavier wave riders or shields or something that tests your power. You know, someone can hold a shield for you and they can let you know, yep, that was a pretty hard shot. But now you're trying to put power into this technique while jumping, which obviously if it's not accurate, it won't work. And the third and final test is putting the two that we've just done, accuracy and power, together, which is breaking. Like I said at the start of the video, it's a test for our red belts when they grade. So the 360 back kick is fantastic. Now, you can obviously break this by stepping through, and you can obviously break it by hopping. But the real 360 back kick is where you break that board before your 2 feet are on the floor. And that's obviously very difficult, very hard to do. So again, it might take practice, and please don't kick the board holder's fingers because that's not very nice. Thank you as always for watching this tutorial. Again, the tutorials now are getting quite difficult, so if you need easier tutorials, I have many more on the channel. If you'd like to see other advanced kicks or hand techniques, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, like and subscribe to the channel. Until next month, take care. Tang su.